Hello, I'm Jack from Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. This is my rig rundown. This is my main guitar that I keep in standard E. I've had this one since we actually started Porn Crumpets, so I'm pretty sure everything was recorded on that from day one, because Rich made me go and buy a new guitar because I had a washband from Target before that. That's actually a true story. Standard, this is dropped down to D standard. I got that just recently. Just another Jazzmaster, but it's a switch between the Kurt Cobain model, so it's like a, I think it was a Mustang and a Jaguar with the Jazzmaster somehow. I don't know. Is that
Jagstang?
Is it? What does it say on it?
That's just a Jag, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a Jaguar. Yeah, there you go. I thought it was a. Oh, right. So I'm not playing a Jazzmaster anymore.
That's a Jag.
This one's a Jazz. I thought I played Jazz. The other older one was a Jazzmaster. Basically, tuner. What have I got here? My clean tone. With the compressor. Use that one for November. Run it through reverb if I need to. So, with the old compressor going here, put it through a little pitchfork there for the octave. And then I've always had this Dr. Robert, which I got. I used to go through a blues driver, but the Dr. Robert, so if you hear it, just everything's playing. And it gives it just that crunch. It's like a Beatles emulator pedal. So if you go onto it, you see it's dirty as fuck. But there's John Lennon putting a tab of acid into someone's coffee, and I literally bought it on that basis, and I had no idea what it did. And then I got it home. That was in Japan, and I was like, oh, it's a Vox emulator, and so. That's basically that tone. I mix that in with a swollen pickle. And then I got a Birmingham Bull Fuzz from Lottie Canto the other day. This was probably a couple of years ago. I don't really know what I'm doing with it, but I basically use that for a volume boost. So when I usually just have it clean. Just basically steps up the volume for what I usually have into a phase 90, sorry. So that's it. Classic KP. Back into the C. C9, it's electro harmonics. And you basically get a bunch of stick going with the super pushing down. Sometimes I put this one on with this. That sounds awful. Where are we going with this? What is that one? Why is that sounding weird? Oh, it's because it's an octave down. Basically terror echo, because you always got to have a terror echo. I got this Caverns the other day, which is a reverb with a delay. It's the tiniest little tail, but it's just enough there. And then from that on, that's pretty much it. Trematron, which I'd kind of chuck in a little gurgle. I really wanted that tone that was like a Mars Volta at the start of and Ghosted House. And from there, I don't know, it's basically just the live stuff. Everything else is guitar rig when it gets home, so that's my rig.
So guitars, I've just got, this is the spare at the moment for the band. It's a pure Salem guitar, and it's got 59 humbuckers in it. Which are the same as the humbuckers in my main guitar, the Powercaster, and that's pretty simple. It's like it's like a cross between a Strat and a Jag or something like that, and it's got 57 Seymour Duncans in it, or 59s. And there's Chris as a young boy in the back. That's a defining feature. I suppose I've got like this top thing where I keep my knickknacks. Got the sampler, because there's a few tracks in the set now that have like weird sort of samples and bits and pieces. So there's the sampler, there's a little modular synth, which instead of a keyboard, I've just got like this old telephone pad which sends CV signals into the modular synth, just to make kind of silly noises and stuff, like tracks like Nightmare and stuff have a bit of synth action. The Death by Audio, this is the Echo Master, which I use for vocals, and that's just kind of I like having it up here so I can actually adjust the time and the feedback and stuff while I'm messing around with the vocals. Shaker, essential item, that one, very complex, not plugged into anything. This is a MIDI controller that I built just using like an Arduino. I really wanted something to control the Volante down here that I could reach, so I basically programmed the switch on that, and it just kind of mimics what these switches do to adjust the time from half to double. And then you've got like time, feedback, and then mix. So it just saves my back because I'm getting old now, so I don't have to bend down and do stuff. And then that goes down the pedal board. It's just like MIDI input. Crybaby, it's one of those like smaller wahs just because I can't fit an old one on there. Overdrives, Prince of Tone. I've got a Chase Bliss Warp Vinyl Mark II, which kind of is a vibrato-y sort of thing. The Volante, obviously, with a multi-switch, and I usually just have 3 main presets, just a short delay, medium, long sort of thing, super simple. Tuner, this is like a clone of a POG, but I kind of prefer the sound to a POG. It's kind of a bit weirder, and it tracks weirdly, which kind of adds to its own flavour, I guess. The Hoof Reaper is really good. It's just two different kind of fuzzes, and then an octave in the middle. I use that for most of the set. It's rarely off. The Astral Destiny is just like a reverb, shimmer reverby sort of thing. I use that for that sort of large shimmery ambient stuff. The Sonar is like a tremolo, but what I really like about this is you can actually use these delta switches to slow down the trem kind of automatically, which is a cool effect. Then just like a compressor, it's just a Keeley compressor, standard thing. Only on like a tiny bit, because I've obviously got all of this overdrive and fuzz stages, so I just find it's nice to it just levels out the jump ups when you kick in like the delay and the distortion at the same time. It can keep it kind of nice and flat and control it a bit more. And then this is just a multi-switch. Not programmed to do anything fancy. It's literally just like fuzz, that one on its own, fuzz and that one, and then fuzz that one and that one, and then everything else I just kick in and out manually, just rather than doing like song presets or anything like that. I haven't ever really. I prefer to be able to see what I'm doing, so that's probably it, I think. And then amp is just a Hot Rod DeVille, and Jack's running the same Hot Rod.
Hot Rod DeVille did that Fender Spono.
Yeah, made by Fender.
Yeah.
That's my whole rig pretty much. Nothing super technical.
That's pretty technical.
This is my road axe. Gibson SG 60s tribute. Seen a few roads, this one. Actually the only Gibson in the band. Someone's got to do it. Playing a Nord Stage 3 with some MIDI to control mode, Minotaur for the subs, or the sub frequency stuff. Got the classic bullet cable. OG, actually had that for about 15 years I think. So still trucking. Octafuzz, actually don't use it on the Octavia, but the fuzz circuit is fucking sick. I actually give that 4.5 volts instead of 9 volts, so it gets like nice and splattery. And then the tuner always on in the chain, a bit of a good buffer there. I've got this loop switcher. A friend of mine at home built this one for me, the D helmet. This loop here brings in the harmonic percolator with the POG, or makeshift POG. Same one Rish has on his board actually. It's the lawsuit model. They got sued for this pedal, but it sounds fucking great. Yep, octave setting in there, in that loop. And then this is just the standard drive I've got on with a bit of tape slapback for the cover. And delay, got the memory boy, pretty standard. I don't really mess with the settings too much, it kind of stays just as a bit of cover, a bit of extra tails on it. This compressor is always on. It's got a Neve transformer in it, so it sounds like a bit of a Neve desk compressor to it. Actually, the guitarist from Animals as Leaders, he uses one of these. I got that hot tip from his rig rundown. And then I've got the Strymon Lex for a rotary, a bit of fast and slow movement in the, like a Leslie speaker mod. And that's it.
Hi, I'm Jamie. This is currently the bass dungeon for Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. So we aren't actually touring a bass amp right now, and that's pretty much just to kind of save space in the van. So all of the tone that we have coming out of the bass is from this thing here, and a combined effort with the front of house guy just out there. So the whole tone starts, if I turn these off, I can kind of talk you through it. It kind of starts from this helix. It's almost being used as like a multi-effects thing and a backup. If these two end up failing, I can just go straight into this and the show's not going to go down, nothing's going to get ruined. This is here, I was meant to be on a wireless, my wireless broke. So my friend Luke made me this 50-meter jack cable because he knows I do spins and get all spun up in myself and the cable stops working. So I can move around as much as I want with that. But this is mostly for stuff like in between songs, stuff to kind of like fill up space, like a little tremolo effect, an echo here, and then the intro to Cornflake, which is probably my favourite tone in the entire set. I'll play this with a pick just to show how cool I think it is. It's like 2 phases, a distortion. That's sick, dude. That's from that, and then these two, the Microtube's Dark Glass. This stays on pretty much the entire set. So this is what we call the pre-tone and the post-tone. And we kind of run both in parallel, except this one runs into that one. So we have this one going out a little bit cleaner, just sounding like this. A bit subbier, you know, not so much drive. And then when this comes kicking in, that's pretty much the tone that I run the entire set. The way that I'll change it, I won't turn any of these off. If I want to do something a little bit less picky, a little bit less distorted, I'll kind of thumb it or finger it rather than, you know, so on the calmer sections it doesn't sound quite as aggressive and distorted. And I'm always going to swear by a P bass. With Seymour Duncan, this has been my thing for like 10 years now. I just like the way it kind of breaks up when I play. I think I probably have bad picking technique in terms of I play quite hard to the point where my hand is cramping, but I quite like the way that it sounds. And we were running it through a Fender Bassman, but I think it's not really needed. These things sound amazing in my personal opinion. So I'm very happy touring with just this now and never having to lug an 8x, you know, a massive cab up the stairs ever again in my life. And that is pretty much everything that I do. It's a very, very simple setup. Yeah, thanks, man.
Welcome to back.
Oh, I got that bit.